Hello, and welcome to the free training on all things health and wealth and loving the skin that you're in and becoming confident and really taking your health into your own hands, empowering yourself and feeling confident in you. And I'm so excited. My name is Casey. I am the founder of the Body Love Method and Casey Rose Coaching. If you guys don't know me yet, it is so nice to meet you. Thank you for being here. Welcome in. I'm so excited. If you don't know me, trainings are my jam. This is my all-time favorite thing to do, is to get to talk and connect and support you guys. And this is like the mothership of all the trainings. It is the culmination of all of the work that I do, and I'm so excited to get into it. So welcome in to embrace your body, take charge of your health. So what we are going to be talking about today is discovering the three main obstacles that are preventing you from creating sustainable results in your health and how to overcome them. So there are three roadblocks that are blocking you from getting to where you want to be. Whether you have a weight loss goal, whether you just want to reduce inflammation, you want to feel more confident in the skin that you're in, you want to love yourself more, you want to work on that self-talk, going from the negativity and the anxiety to positivity and confidence, whatever it is. That is what we're going to be identifying today, because there are three things. And if we don't identify them, they're going to continue to control us. So that's what we're going to be doing today, with a little sprinkle in of creating unshakable confidence in the skin that you're in, because that is what matters ultimately. And at the end of this, I don't care what the number on the scale is. I don't care what you eat on a daily basis. I care about you feeling like your best self, right? And we're going to go into my backstory in a minute, but it sucks to have to wake up every day and not feel confident in your body, to stare at your closet and think, I have nothing to wear because I don't love my body. I don't love how I feel. I don't love how I look. I'm scared of other people judging me. What are people going to think of me? And then you just like let that chatter live up there all day long, right? We're going to talk about that today and how to bust through it. So let's get into it. If you guys have questions at any point, if you guys are on the live training, feel free to shoot them in the chat. If you guys are catching the replay, you can always hang out with me over on Instagram at Casey Rose Coaching. I'm pretty active over there. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to shoot them my way. I am here to support you guys, and this is a free training because I truly believe that everybody gets to feel this good, and I want to support you in that. So, let's get into it. Okay. Hi, I'm Casey. If you guys don't know me, this is me on both sides of the screen. Before I preface about my story, I would like to say that these pictures on the left, if this is where you are, you're still worthy. Okay. You don't need to have like a weight loss transformation or a body transformation in order to become loved, worthy, accepted, confident, or any of those things. Okay. I wish I knew in the past that how I looked before, how I looked, a few years ago, that she was worthy. Like she didn't need to change her body in order to feel loved or worthy or confident. Okay. Yes, it's a huge plus. And yes, I'm so proud of where I'm at and all the work that I've done. But it's not the scale. That's not like my biggest accomplishment. It's the mindset. So let's talk about that. On the left-hand side, even though it looks like my weight is, obviously it's different there. My body is different. On the left is when I was actually extreme dieting, when I was restricting, when I had disordered eating tendencies, when I was doing incredible amounts of cardio and working out a day, like 2 hours plus, guys. And I was like actually doing the things, right? I was eating the things, or I was restricting. I was counting calories. I was on the diets. I did the fad diets. I did like the hydroxy cut, like taking those supplements, right? Trying Weight Watchers, trying keto, trying all of the things. And I looked in that way. And there's nothing wrong with how I looked. But what I'm saying is there's a big difference between these two sections, like these 2 points of my life. Okay. And what was going on here that is the most important is the mindset. That girl on the left had zero self-esteem. My belief system was one of being unworthy. My entire life revolved around the number on the scale and how I looked, right? Every little thing, every ounce of my energy was poured into my body, how I looked, how people were going to perceive me, what the clothes I was wearing looked like, just everything. The foods that I was eating. This is a good food. This is a bad food. Oh, you're going to gain weight if you eat that. Oh, you have to do more working out tomorrow because you look this way, right? I was obsessive over it and it didn't give me results. I stayed that way. And once again, nothing wrong with looking that way, because I wish I could go back and just like feel comfortable in that skin, because it's fine, right? There's nothing wrong with that. We've created this belief that there is something wrong with it, which we're going to go into. But anyway, I digress. Constant comparison to others, negative self-talk, like that mean self-talk, which I know we all know, we experience looking in the mirror every single morning and telling myself, I hate myself, you're a piece of garbage, I can't believe you're going to wear that, I can't believe you're going to go out, what are people going to think of you, etc. Raise your hand if you relate. Okay. I got from there to these other pictures you see, which is current day, by, this is going to be a mind shock for all of you guys, by not caring anymore. Okay. And you're like, what do you mean not caring anymore? We're going to go into it. I'm going to talk about these 3 roadblocks. But when I stopped obsessing, when I like remember having this come to Jesus moment, I put my hands up and I said, I don't know what to do anymore. I'm not going to wake up and continue to hate myself. I'm sick of feeling frustrated. I'm sick of being mean to myself. I'm sick of the judgment. I'm sick of counting calories. I'm sick of depriving myself from the foods I love, going out to eat with my husband and bringing chicken in a bag because I was scared of gaining weight. Meanwhile, he's drinking a beer and eating the nachos. And I'm just like, I can't eat that because I'm going to get fat. When I stopped doing that is when the weight melted off. And this happened because I started to love and accept where I was at, and I stopped fighting and I stopped resisting and I stopped making myself wrong for looking that way. And I instead chose to focus on love and acceptance. This picture now, you would think that these are like the results of the crazy working outs and the extreme dieting and the meal plans and following a strict regimen. Absolutely not. I have complete food freedom. I do not second guess what I eat. I do not plan cheat meals anymore like I used to have to because cheat meals. I don't label foods good and bad. I eat what I want when I want it. And I focus on how good I feel when I eat certain things, right? The workouts that I do, we're going to go over. I created an entire workout program. They're only 25 minutes long. I do a 25-minute workout, maybe 4 times a week if I'm feeling 4 times, maybe 5 if I'm getting excited, but it's really 3 to 4. And this is how I've gotten these results because of the mindset work, which we're going to go into in a second. It really is a shift up here. When you can let go of what you're making the weight mean about you, when you can stop weighing yourself every day, when you can stop placing conditions on your worth, that is when the shift happens. And that's what we're going to get into. Okay. So I promise you, I get it because I've been there. You can see, right? These are physical pictures. Like I was there. And on the left-hand side, I lived in that space, in that body for 10 years, probably 10 plus years. I started with these thoughts, this disordered eating, all of this stuff in early high school. And I did that all through my 20s, all through college, all through blank. You get it, right? So that was a big majority of my life. And the last 5 years have been the work, like doing the work. And I can probably say like confidently, like 2 full years, maybe 3 is when I really started to grasp it. And I'm like really feeling good, feeling confident and not worrying about it anymore. And so let's talk about how. Okay. You're like, tell me the answers. How do I do it? But I really do just want to preface the girl on the left, that body, I can look at it now and still think it's so beautiful. In the past, I thought it was ugly. It was fat. It was gross. My rolls, my arm flab, like I would pick myself apart. I look at that and I so badly just want to give that version a hug and love her up because she deserves it. And that is how I became this person on the right-hand side. Okay. All right. So let's get into it. You're in the right place. If you're questioning like, oh my God, is this for me? Can I do this? You're in the right place if you are currently judging yourself and feeling not confident in the current body that you're in. If you feel trapped by diet culture, the crazy exercise, the fad diets, if you're just like over it, you're like, what the heck is the answer? I've tried everything in the books, right? That leads me to the next one. If you are someone who can like confidently raise your hand and be like, Casey, I have tried everything. I've tried every nutrition program. I've tried Weight Watchers. I've tried keto. I've gone paleo. I've gone vegan. I've done blank. I've done every exercise. I've tried Orange Theory, F45, CrossFit, blank. Nothing works for me. Raise your hand if you're a nothing ever works for me kind of gal. Okay. You're not alone. You're in the right place. You want to feel comfortable and confident, but you just don't believe it's possible, right? You have this overwhelming belief that it just can't happen for you, right? Raise your hand. You're in the right place. If you really desperately do want to release the constant comparison, the judgment, the fear of what other people are thinking of you, that was a big one for me. Walking into a room being like, oh my God, people are totally staring. They're going to notice that I gained weight. They're going to notice that blank. They're going to think that I'm a piece of garbage. They're going to think that all of blah, 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 right? The mind chatter. And finally, you're in the right place. If you're ready to do the work the right way, the effective way to break out of the toxic cycle of shame, judgment, and self-sabotage, I would like to be clear that this was not an overnight thing. Okay. I didn't just wake up one day and then all of a sudden I had lost the 25, 30 pounds and I just was like in love with my body and I was in love with myself and I felt confident and I had food freedom. That took years of work. And I would say at least like 1 year of dedicated work. Okay. The first few months were tough. And I just want to preface this because this isn't a secret sauce, a magic pill, the one quick fix that you're going to make, because that is what diet culture tells you. That is what the internet tells you is possible. That if you just do this one thing, everything's going to shift for you. It takes work. Okay. So if you're not ready to do the mindset work, to learn how to reprogram your relationship with food, then this course may not be what, or this free training may not be what you're looking for. This actually takes some ownership, some calling yourself out, some nitty-gritty work, some writing things down. Takes time. Okay. But if you are willing to do that, if you're willing to put in the effort up front, think of the payoff for the rest of your life. Okay. If I didn't do this work, I would still be in the position that I was in before, hating my body every single day. Every single day. I can't even imagine what the last 5-10 years would look like if I was still in that boat. I live in Hawaii now. I can't imagine how self-conscious I would be if I was going to the beach every day and surfing every day and feeling like living my current life with that same mindset. And I am so happy that I took the time to do the deep inner work, because now I have that freedom. And yeah, it's a little bit of sacrifice up front of doing the work, doing the reprogramming, calling out your patterns, taking ownership. It's not always fun, right? But I promise it's a payoff. So if you are ready to do it the right way, if you want, here's the thing, guys. If you want to create like sustainable results that are going to last, it takes a sustainable like foundation. You've got to build the foundation brick by brick. When we try to take shortcuts, when we try to take the easy route, things don't happen, or they happen for a short time. And then what happens? It blows up in our face, right? You guys have done the all or nothing approach with dieting, I'm sure. You're super strict. You're super clean. What happens? You can do it for 2 weeks. You're like, I'm so good. I only ate 500 calories a day. I ate salad and I didn't eat this and I didn't eat that. What happens when the 2-week mark hits, right? You self-sabotage. You eat one piece of sugar, you eat one piece of cake, and then it is like freaking Armageddon, and you just eat everything in sight. And why? Because you restricted for so long. This is not that. This is learning the foundations and building them brick by brick so that you can just create this sustainable lifestyle, right? That is what has gotten me here. That is what allows me to go out to eat with my friends or my husband and have a drink and have a piece of pizza and feel good about it. Not having those thoughts of like, I need to work out extra in the morning. Oh my God, I need to go home and binge because I just ruined my whole diet plan and I'm a piece of garbage. That I got here by doing the work. Okay. Sorry, I get sidetracked. So to wrap that up, if you're ready to do the work, if you're ready to learn how to do the work, let's get into it. Okay. Okay. Let's get into it. I'm so excited. Okay, so close your eyes for a second, guys. Everybody, close your eyes, close your eyes. And I want you to think about this. Just listen to me speak. And I really mean it. Close your eyes. This is important. Helps you get into your body. It helps you feel. Okay. What would your life look like if you no longer had to struggle with your body? What would it look like? If you woke up and could look in the mirror and not judge yourself, what would that feel like? If it felt good to look at yourself in the mirror, if you opened your closet and had clothes you were excited to wear, right? You put on an outfit and you're like, damn, look at me in the mirror. I'm feeling confident. Keeping your eyes closed. What would it feel like to go to a birthday party and not have to fight in your head with the mental chatter about if I can have a piece of birthday cake or a slice of pizza or not? Without, oh, I ate too many calories today already. Oh, I have to burn that off tomorrow. Oh, I have to be in a bathing suit later, so I shouldn't eat the pizza. Think about that. What would it feel like to no longer have that? Or when your partner or your friend goes out to eat, your immediate thought is, I didn't do enough today. I didn't burn enough calories. Think about what it would feel like to have complete freedom. Think of the freedom feeling. That is what's possible for you when you do the work from ground zero. Now, why are you here? Okay. You've tried everything and nothing is working. So now what? Now what? It's a fail-safe. We're looking for a secret sauce, a magic pill. We're looking for freedom. You guys can go ahead and open your eyes. That freedom that you just felt about not caring about foods that are good and bad and cheat meals and just like not spending so much mental energy around your body, around the scale, and around food. If you're exhausted with that, that's the why. Okay. yes, of course, there is the why of wanting to lose weight. And if you have a weight loss goal, that's okay. But I just really want to say this is so much bigger than weight loss. It's so much bigger than weight loss. Okay. I'm talking about real freedom to get invited to a beach day or a boat party and not sit there and have to cry. The amount of times, you guys, that I sat there and cried in the car before having to get out because I was so ashamed of my body. I'm going to get emotional. I would cry because I was like, I can't believe I'm wearing this bathing suit in public because what are people going to think of me? That's the freedom I'm talking about here, guys. Not the scale changing, not even your body changing. It's up here, taking control of your mindset. Okay. Thinking about that freedom, I want you to keep that in mind throughout this entire training because that's what's possible here. And if you're ever at a point of this is too good to be true or I can't do it, that's where this work comes in. Those are outdated beliefs, and we're going to get into that right now. Okay. Any questions so far? Let me pull up my chat over here. We're good. We're excited. Okay, great. Feeling ready to take my health back, feeling ready to take my mindset. Okay, amazing. All right, guys, here we go. Woo, let's get fired up. Top 3 obstacles in order to create these lasting, sustainable results. Number 1, mindset and identity. And I guarantee this is the one that you probably haven't learned in depth before, because most programs out there are selling you the quick fixes. They're selling you some sort of diet. They're selling you some sort of meal plan or some sort of workout program or a waist trainer or a juice cleanse or a detox tea. None of that shit, excuse my French, I'm sorry, addresses the mindset. Okay. This is the first and foremost, most important one. This is how I got those results that you saw in those pictures, was doing the work up here. Very little of it had to do with like actually changing my diet and movement. However, we are going to go over nutrition and movement because they are important. And there is a way to eat to support our body. And with nutrition, the biggest thing is inflammation, right? If you're waking up and you're always feeling inflamed, you're bloated, you're puffy, low energy, fatigue, that's where we're really going to get into that. And then movement. Right? Our bodies are designed to move. They're designed to be active. And that is what's going to give us energy. We're going to talk about movement, what movement is right for you and how to create it. Okay. The obstacles to it and how to create sustainable movement, nutrition, and mindset in our lives. So let's dive in. Mindset. This is my jam. This is my favorite thing to talk about. I'm going to try to keep this short and sweet because I have an entire 3-month course dedicated to this. But this is really like, I geek out on this stuff and I want to share the importance of it because it changed my life. This is the utmost, like the most important thing that made an impact in my self-love journey, my weight loss journey, my healing journey, and my mindset. Okay. Let's get into it. Okay. So your mindset. And if at any time this feels like a lot, please pause the video or ask a question. Or if you're catching the replay too, just like pause and take a breath because it can be overwhelming. But I promise the course goes so much deeper into this if you guys are interested. So your belief system, what you believe now as an adult, that was actually created when you were a child. So from the ages of 0 to 7, your mind is building its foundation. It's building its belief system. So you come onto the planet, think about it as like a clean slate. You're a fresh sponge right out of the package. You're a computer that was just brought home from the store, blank. Okay. And what happens when you're this young, you don't have the ability to decide what you want to believe and what you don't want to believe. So you are just like a sponge absorbing everything from the world around you, everything. And what is happening is these beliefs that you picked up when you were a child, these conditions, everything that you feel, the way you perceive the world, right? We all have these different glasses on. We all perceive the world differently because of the conditions, because of the parenting we received, the beliefs that were imparted on us when we were a child. These are what are dictating your life now as an adult. Okay. You were taught to feel the way that you feel about your body, about the world, about money, about relationships, about jobs, about career, like about blank, blank, blank. Every single thing that you have a belief about is coming from your childhood when you picked these things up. You are most likely to pick these things up from your parents or whoever raised you, grandparents, whoever was like the parental figure in your life. This is where you were picking these things up from. And then you go to school at a young age and you learn things from teachers, and then you learn things from society. And then you get a freaking cell phone in your hand and you get to learn even more about how the world works and how it should work, right? This is especially important because this is where, especially with women, the majority of the beliefs about our bodies, judging our bodies, not feeling good enough, and thinking our worth is dependent on our weight, This is so important because these conditions run deep. Because when you are a little girl and you go into the store and you see a magazine that says drop 10 pounds by summer to get bikini ready, or you see supermodels, or you see a Kardashian and you see these perfectly sculpted Victoria's Secret models that don't have an ounce of fat on their body, that is what we are taught is beautiful from a very young age. I remember the first time I ever felt self-conscious, and I was younger than middle school. I remember exactly what I was wearing, and these beliefs stay with you, these conditions. So now as an adult, if you're struggling thinking that you're not worthy because you don't look like a Kardashian, that's because of toxic diet culture. That's not your fault. Okay? You came onto this planet without any beliefs at all. You didn't think you didn't come here comparing yourself to the other babies in the cribs next to you, right? You didn't come here thinking that you needed to weigh under 100 pounds in order to be worthy, in order to receive love. You were taught that. And the reason I like to say that you were taught to feel the way you feel about your body is because you can also unlearn this and you can relearn a new narrative, a new story, a new belief. But it's really important to understand that you didn't come here thinking you weren't good enough. You didn't come here having a belief about the scale or that I can't change. Nothing ever works for me. I've tried everything in the books. Those are learned behaviors, learned beliefs. Okay, are we with me? This is especially important when it comes to the motherly figure in your life, if you had one. So many women, and this isn't a fault of our moms or the women that came before them, they were taught to pick themselves apart and taught societal standards of beauty and shame and diet culture, right? But if you did have a mom who picked herself apart, right? She didn't want to be in pictures. She always thought she was too fat. She always hated, like she put an outfit on and she's like, oh, I hate how I look. You watched that as a little girl or boy, but I'm really catering to females here. You watch that as a little kid, you pick that up. How many times now as an adult, you take a picture and you get it back and you're like, oh my God, I hate how I look, or don't get me in that shot, or oh my God, I have nothing to wear. These are patterns that you picked up from a young age as a little kid, okay? The most important thing I want you to realize here, you did not come here judging your body. This is a learned behavior, okay? To sum what's going on here up, you pick these beliefs up from the age of 0 to 7, and then what happens is they become stored, and this creates the subconscious mind. So you guys might have heard that term before. We have our conscious and our subconscious. This goes very deep. I have a lot of resources if you want to geek out on this, some books, some podcasts, and this is what I teach in the Body Love Method. However, these beliefs that live within your subconscious mind now dictate your day-to-day life. And the kicker is you're completely unaware. You have no idea. It's happening on autopilot. Literally, these beliefs come up, they operate your reality, they tell you what to look for, and that's what happens, right? A really easy example of this, like the biggest belief system that's easy to call out, is money. Because the majority of us had the mindset of money doesn't grow on trees, money is hard to come by, you have to work really hard to get your money, it's hard to be rich, rich people are the root of all evil. That programming now comes up as adults, and how many of us operate out of that now? We judge people for having money. We judge rich people. We get jealous of other people who have money. We think money is bad sometimes, or we really struggle with money. And why? Because you're taught to from a young age. Those subconscious beliefs are looping, and that is the lens that you are seeing life through. So I want you all to picture right now, we all have goggles on. These goggles that we wake up that are just like automatically on our eyeballs every single morning, that is how we perceive the world. Every single person has different goggles on. So you and I see our bodies, see money, see life, see the purpose of life, see our relationships through different lenses, okay? The lens here is what we're going to work to change. We're going to take the glasses off so we can start to see things as neutral. The thing with the scale, guys, it's neither good nor bad. It's a neutral event, the number on that scale. But so many of us are wearing glasses. These goggles, our perception is that if that number is a certain point, oh, that means I'm overweight. Oh, that means I'm unworthy. Oh, that means people are going to judge me. Do you see what's happening here? But somebody like me who has done the work, who doesn't weigh herself anymore, but if I did get on the scale, I would see that number and be like, okay, like that doesn't mean anything about me, because I am wearing completely neutral goggles now. I've realized my weight doesn't depend on my worth, or my worth doesn't depend on my weight. I realized the scale is the stupidest measurement of progress. And I'm sorry if that offends you, but it is literally like the dumbest way that you can track your progress. It is the the most inaccurate way to measure your weight loss or your progress goals. Okay. I digress. Your belief system controls everything, okay? You have this part of your brain called the reticular activating system. It's this little part, it's by your brainstem, and it filters out, because we're seeing like billions of bits of information all day long. And your brain, if it was shown everything, would get completely overwhelmed. So your reticular activating system, the RAS, it looks for information around to validate your current belief system, right? So we get to program the mind. This is the coolest part of all. Right now, we're running on autopilot from those beliefs you picked up as a child, right? And bear with me, I know this can be a lot, guys, but we're operating on those beliefs. But your RAS, the cool thing about it now is that you can tell it what to look for. So if you guys have ever heard the game, don't think of a purple elephant. You're going to be thinking about a purple elephant, right? If I tell you right now, do not look for the black cars on the road, don't see them. Or if I say, look for the black cars on the road, or look for the red car, or look for the number blank, 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 you will start to see it. And why? Because I just said something, your reticular activating system turned on, and now it's going to filter that. You normally could care, like, give two craps about the black cars on the road. But now you're going to go out after this and be like, oh my God, there's a black car. Oh my God, there's a black car. Let's use a different example. Let's say orange, right? Because that's really going to stand out to you. You're going to start to notice those things. That is what we have that power to do that. Okay. So that's to sum up the belief system. There is an entire, I think there's 10 videos on this, step by step, about the subconscious mind and about the reticular activating system and about the energetics of it within the body love method. They're like an hour each because it's so in depth. But for now, that's the basics of it. You came onto this planet a clean slate. What happened is you started to pick up these beliefs from society, from your parents, from whoever was a primary caretaker, from your friends at school, from the bullies at school, right? You think back, you might have gotten made fun of it in 5th grade, right? Say somebody said you wore these cool shoes to school and somebody says, I don't like those. Now as an adult, you're still probably self-conscious about it and you don't even realize it because it's looping. For girls, how many, in middle school, even younger than that, there was a group of girls who was mean and they told you that you weren't good enough and that you didn't fit in. Well, there's a belief that you're not good enough and you don't fit in. You know that it doesn't matter that those girls said that. You can understand that it's not true. But if it's living in the subconscious mind, it's dictating your reality. It has filtered, it has created this lens of imperfection, unworthiness, et cetera, et cetera. That's how you're operating. Okay. I see the chat here. Any questions on mindset? I don't think you guys can see the chat on the replay, but okay. This is why it's important. Moving on, identity. So we have the subconscious mind, and this is kind of like the step 2 to the mindset work. This is still roadblock number 1 of mindset. Identity. From these beliefs, we have created an identity. We have created a person, a personality out of this belief system. So raise your hand if you ever caught yourself saying things like, I've always been this way, so I can't change. Nothing ever works for me. I've tried everything. My body just can't lose weight. I'm the one person it won't work for. Who's got hands up? Everybody probably has hands up, right? Guys, I cannot express the importance of the things that we say to ourselves and the direct correlation it has on our results. If you wake up every single morning and say that nothing ever works for you, nothing is ever going to work for you, right? That is like expecting to say this orange can't turn into a banana, or this orange is going to turn into a banana or can't turn into a banana, and then expecting it to do it, but you're telling yourself it can't. That's 2 + 2 doesn't equal 4 here. Okay. If you wake up and say, my body can't lose weight, no amount of diet and exercise is going to change that. The belief comes first. I've always been this way, so I can't change. If you continue to identify with past versions of yourself and you continue to identify with this belief, nothing will change. I don't care how many supplements you take. I don't care how hard you work out. I don't care what you do. If you keep saying that shit to yourself, excuse my French, that is what you will continue to experience. This one also is so heavy for me, and I still think this. I'm the one person it won't work for. I'm just unlucky. Things just don't work for me. If you keep thinking that, your reticular activating system is taking that belief and it's looking for experiences in your outer world to validate it. So you will continue to be disappointed. You will continue to be let down. You will continue to think you're a failure. If you think you fail at everything, you will make sure that you do, That's literally the function of your subconscious mind, of your reticular activating system, to validate the beliefs that you have. If you wake up every morning and still continue to judge yourself and hate yourself in the mirror, when do you ever expect to wake up and have self-love? That is like backwards. It doesn't work that way. It can't add up, right? So I like to say this in the beginning because, of course, the nutrition and the movement is going to be fun. I can't wait to talk about it. But if you aren't even letting your mind be open to the possibility that something could work for you, it's not going to work for you. And I want to like nip this right in the bud, because if you're watching this training and you're like, oh, seems too good to be true, it's going to be too good to be true then, right? If you think like, I can't do it, you're not going to do it. And not that you can't have limiting beliefs and like accomplish your goals, but it's really coming down to how much power you're giving these beliefs. And I'm telling you, you are fighting against yourself if you join any program, any plan, and you still wake up and choose to say these things to yourself. And there's no shame here. I'm not judging you. I promise you, I was in this boat for a long time and I still catch these little pesky thoughts coming up. Okay. But they don't get to control you. They only don't get to control you if you take your power back and choose to no longer think them. But the reason that we're staying stuck, and this is just really the biggest roadblock of all, is because we're paying more energy and more attention to these old beliefs, these old patterns, the old versions of us, than we are the new version of us. You're waking up and doing this workout and thinking, oh, this has never worked in the past. Think of all the workouts that I've done. Think about all the diet plans I've tried. So like doing this isn't going to work. Is this resonating, guys? How the heck is it going to work if you tell yourself it's not going to work? Okay. So please keep that in mind as we move through the rest of this free training. You got to tell yourself that this could be something that works. And you don't need to say, this is the missing link. It's going to change for me. Like, you don't need to go balls to the walls, like 0 to 60 all of a sudden. Oh, this would be like sitting here and being broke and then saying, I'm a millionaire, and expecting to be a millionaire. I'm not trying you to like gaslight your subconscious mind. All I want here is for you to say, well, if I didn't come onto this planet judging myself, and that's a learned behavior, maybe I don't need to think that every day. What would happen if I could change? If Casey did it, doesn't that mean it's possible for me too? How different could my life look if I stopped? You don't even need to start thinking positive thoughts. I just want you to stop thinking these old detrimental thoughts, right? Your identity matters. The beliefs you have matter, and they dictate everything. And it is the most annoying thing in the world. I promise, I get it. And I also don't want you to be sitting here like, oh my God, look at all these beliefs. It's going to take me 10 plus years to get out of them. It's not. It will if you kind of do the wishy-washy approach. You watch a video one day, you journal one day, and then you skip a week, and then you come back to it. This takes serious work. Okay. I'm telling you, in the beginning, I was in my journal. I was doing the meditations. I was doing the tapping, all of the things we're going to talk about in a second, daily. It takes work to break through this identity, but it doesn't need to take 10 plus years. Okay. It starts the moment you just bring awareness to it. So I really want you to like pull out a pen and paper right now and think about the things that you're saying to yourself on a daily basis. How are you blocking your own progress? You're shooting yourself in the foot before you even get started when you wake up and start your day with thoughts like this. As soon as you look in the mirror and you judge yourself, you're back to ground zero. Okay. Your outer reality will always look what your inner reality believes. It will reflect it. Your outer life is a mirror. The biggest parts, and I do other trainings on this, this is obviously catered towards our health and our body and our weight loss, if that's a goal for you. Relationships is a big one. Money and career is a big one. And the way we feel about ourselves, right? If you don't believe you're worthy of a healthy relationship, you will continue to attract men who are unavailable or who do not treat you well or blank, blank, blank. And this is to not tell you that you are at fault here. I'm just telling you this is how it works. If you desire more money, but you have beliefs that money is evil, if you get jealous of rich people, or if you judge rich people, I used to do this all the time. I would see women walking around with like ginormous rings on their finger and like fancy designer handbags, and I would judge them and be like, oh, must be nice. If you say that must be nice, if you look at the pictures of me in the beginning from where I was to where I am now, and you're like, oh, must be nice, good for her, lucky her, that's a block right there. Judgment, jealousy, any of that, it creates a further block. All right. So I just want this to really outline the importance of your identity. The thoughts you think, the things that you say, the beliefs that you have matter. And if things aren't changing for you right now, it is more likely than not because you have a belief that it can't change. It is more likely than not because you are looking in the mirror and judging yourself every day. You're doing the things, you're going through the motions, but you just keep thinking this isn't going to work for me. It's not going to work for you if you keep saying that. Okay. I'm going to keep repeating myself, but here's this whole thing. Your relationship that you have with your body right now is a direct result of the programming that you picked up in your childhood and the past however many years. And if you keep believing these things, you keep saying these things to yourself, you keep giving power to these beliefs, that's what you're going to keep experiencing. You will continue to live as this version of you if you keep identifying with the past version of you. If you want something different, you have to literally be something different. And I know you're like, how do I do it? I'm going to tell you in a second, okay? You have to be a version of you that is no longer operating on these old functions. You have to choose to literally put your hands out and say, no, I'm not doing this anymore. I am not operating in that way anymore. I refuse. Okay? That's important. If you just say that right now, you can start to take your power back. It's all about awareness. Okay? And I'm going to teach you how. But going back to that reticular activating system, it's tuned. Like think of like a radio dial, right? Right now you're on 96.9, which is the low vibe zone. You don't feel good about yourself. You don't like your life. You hate how your body looks. You don't think that you can lose weight. You don't think it's just like that you can heal your relationship with food. You're waking up every single morning and turning on 96.9. But you're expecting yourself to be on channel 101, where you feel good and you love the skin that you're in and you did heal your relationship with food and you can eat whatever you want without feeling guilty. Like you're acting as 96.9, but expecting channel 101 to play and experience. It doesn't work like that. It starts by waking up and tuning. I'm going to teach you about energy tuning. You tune into 101. You start to be that person. Even if you don't believe it yet, you start acting as her. You start to say kinder things. You start to heal your relationship with food. You start to do the practices that I teach in these courses. You start to do the things. That is when you can, as soon as you start being 101, you will start receiving 101. Is this making sense, this analogy? But if you keep waking up, tuning to 96.9, you're going to keep getting the results that come from 96.9. You know what to expect already. Okay? Let's bust out of it. It is difficult though. I don't want to be under any facade here that it's just as soon as you identify your beliefs, you can change them. It takes the work. And that's obviously the work that I'm teaching you guys. Okay. Think about an iceberg, right? There's a little bit on the top and then there's the big mountain underneath. That's what's happening here. Your conscious mind is the tip of the iceberg, the tippy top. That's what you're aware of. Your subconscious under here, this huge triangle, that is what we're going to start chipping away at. That's what I teach you guys in the Body Love Method, okay? That's what's important. And the reason I share this, I just hope the importance is getting across. Every program you do, if you're looking for a weight loss solution or whatever, it will give you the same results until you do this mindset work. I just can't express the importance of it enough. Until you take your mindset, you take your conditions into your own hands and choose to reprogram, you choose to identify and rewrite the narrative, it will continue to control your life. I don't recommend starting anything until you do this work. I truly don't, because it's so fundamental. It's so foundational. Okay. So that is our roadblock number 1. Oh, geez. I really take my time here. Okay. The last thing here, and then I'm going to talk about what do we do about it. Okay. The other really important piece here is self-love versus self-judgment, confidence versus comparison. So right now, raise of hands, show of hands, who's feeling self-judgmental and comparative, right? Are you comparing yourself to other people? Are you judging yourself? I'm telling you right now, this is the biggest block to getting a body you love, is shaming the body that you currently have. I cannot express it enough. If you continue to wake up day after day, and the first thing you do is you go in the mirror and you pinch your belly rolls and you look at your arm flab and you look at the wrinkles under your eyes and you pick out your gray hair and you look at the frowny lines that you have and blah, blah, blah. If you do that every single day, how do you think you're just going to have a body that you love? If your goal is truly self-love and confidence and weight loss or whatever, but you are still waking up every day shit talking yourself, how does that add up? Right? What's the math there? Shame and judgment only leads to more shame and judgment. That's it. Plain and simple. 2 + 2 is 4. Shame and judgment equals more shame and judgment. So how do we get the body that we love? You love the body that you currently have. And I know that pisses you off and it makes you so mad. And you're like, Casey, I can't love myself. I'm fat. I'm gross. I hate how I look. How do you expect me to love myself when the scale is this? I'm overweight. I'm unhealthy. What's that going to give you? Right? You got to accept where your body is at. Shame and this ick towards yourself is only going to give you more of that. Your body is crying out for you to love it. Your inner child, picture 5-year-old you, how she would be feeling if you spoke to her the same way you speak to current you every single morning. You wake up and pick yourself apart. Picture 5-year-old you standing right next to you, saying those words to her. She would feel like absolute garbage. She would feel betrayed. She would feel alone. She would feel left out. You're saying those things to yourself every day and expecting something to work for you. That's backwards. Confidence comes when you don't need the scale to change anymore in order to become confident. I'm going to say that again. Confidence happens for you when you no longer need something outside of you to happen in order to feel confident. When you can start to wake up and feel confident where you are, when you can start to wake up and feel worthy and loved for the body that you currently have, without the six-pack, with the cellulite, with the belly rolls, with the imperfections, that is power. That is power right there. When you don't need anything outside of you to validate you anymore, when you can choose to be confident in the now, when you make peace with the body that you currently have, the body that you desire will just naturally flow in. And that's what I mean when I was saying the difference between those two pictures. It's when I just stopped trying. I stopped fighting with myself. I just started to be nice to myself. And it wasn't even overly nice to myself. I do now, I gas myself up every day and it's so fun. But in the beginning, it was really hard. And I just accepted it. I said, thank you, body. Thank you for getting me through another day. I was on my feet for 12 hours yesterday. Thank you. Thank you for, it's good that I have a belly because that means I have enough food to eat. Thank you, body. You just got to start practicing some gratefulness for what you've got. Okay. And if your brain automatically gets triggered by this conversation, this slide in particular, and you're like, I just can't, we got to do the work. Because I'm telling you right now, you're making it harder for yourself. You're going to stay here for a really long time until you implement this lesson in your life. I cannot express the reason we're spending so much time on the mindset is because it is the most important. I just can't express it. It matters. Okay. We've got to be okay with where we're at. So how do we do it? How do we do it? How? Casey, tell me how. What's the secret sauce? There's no secret sauce. It's work. It's brick by brick. But there are tools that we can use to support you. So that is why I created the Body Love Method. If you guys don't know what the Body Love Method is, it's a 3-month long. It actually takes a little bit longer than that, but it's at least 3 months long of these trainings. Everything that I kind of just taught you, it's an online self-paced course where you're actually doing the work. The work that I'm talking about, when I keep saying brick by brick, you're like, Casey, what the hell does that mean? Right? That's what I teach you inside that course. I break it down. You get a weekly training video, a weekly meditation, subconscious reprogramming tools, all the works. But let's talk about it here because you joined this free training to get something out of it. So I'm going to give you guys some freebies right here, right now. How we reprogram the subconscious mind is by calling those beliefs out, bringing them to the surface, and then changing them. How do we change them? Here's the tools. Everybody is different. Some people like some of these things, some people like others. You don't have to love them all, but you got to find something that works for you because thinking about that belief and just wishing it away isn't going to cut it. Okay. You can't sit there and be like, I don't have this belief anymore and just hope it goes away. We actually have to dig into the subconscious mind and get it out. So what I just want to preface real quick, I want you to start thinking of the subconscious mind like this. Remember the castles in the olden days that had the guards outside and they had that moat around it, right? Like the big river and it had alligators in it. And then it had those guards out front. And then the castle was behind it. The big, big, big castle, right? The castle in this analogy is your subconscious mind. Okay. The soldiers in front and the little moat with the alligators, that's your conscious mind. Your subconscious doesn't want you to go near it. Okay. It does not like to be meddled with. It doesn't want you to change the beliefs, even though the beliefs that you have, you're like, WTF, this sucks. I hate living in my mind. It's familiar. Okay. This is where, if you guys ever have self-sabotage or you struggle with that, if you struggle with changing, right? Self-sabotage is the root of safety for the subconscious mind. That's why we do it. There's a whole module, journal prompts, all the things in the Body Love Method for that. But anyway, for this example, to get into the subconscious mind, we've got to get the conscious soldiers to just like take a sleeping pill for a second. Not literally. Don't go out there taking sleeping pills. But we just kind of got them. We got to get them to look the other way. We got to be like, oh, look at that spaceship. And they look away, and then we dive into the subconscious. Okay. That is what these tools allow us to do. Because consciously, you can sit there and be like, I want to love my body. But if that huge iceberg underneath says, like hell you do, subconscious mind wins 95% of the time. I didn't say this before. Your subconscious rules 95% of your outer reality. 95%. It has that much power, but we can break through. EFT tapping, EFT therapy. This is my all-time holy grail, praise the Lord, favorite tool on planet Earth. You're like, what is EFT tapping? So we have these beliefs. They live in our mind, but they also live in our bodies. You guys can understand this thinking about getting on stage to speak in front of people. Maybe your heart does a little pitter patter, right? Or thinking about the first time you ever got a text message from your crush, right? Go back to that point when you were that young and you get like the butterflies in your belly. We actually feel these beliefs in our body. We feel these emotions, okay? So they live in our bodies as emotions still. Self-judgment, self-hate, you can feel it. You might not be able to consciously bring it to mind right now, but when you're feeling shame, when you're looking in the mirror, you're in a dressing room and you're like, nothing fits me. I have nothing to wear. That is just like defeat. And it can be actually palpably felt in your body, right? Fear is a big one. We all know what fear feels like. Think about a time being like confrontational, right? You get like the ick around that, or at least I used to. These are all things that are happening in our body. EFT therapy helps us to release them. So what EFT is, once again, all-time favorite, you tap through these different points that we have on our bodies, and it actually helps to release these emotions, which helps to release the belief. Okay. I'm not going to run through this entire thing right now, like the EFT therapy, but this is what's in the Body Love Method. I have guided EFT tapping videos. I tell you about my favorite practitioner where you can find his videos. Once again, that's in the course. If you guys want more info, you got to jump inside the Body Love Method. But that's my all-time favorite one. I did that when I was really struggling with anxiety. I did videos for like, I don't know, maybe a month straight, maybe 2 months straight, just every day, not expecting anything. Because in the moment, it's not like you're triggered and all of a sudden you're not triggered anymore. But I did them consistently every day. And then all of a sudden, my anxiety was just not there. And I had this moment of something that used to make me anxious was when my husband would leave the house, because my brain made up a scenario that he was going to get in a car crash and die. And I know that is like so morbid, but my brain creates catastrophes. That is just what my anxious brain does. That's its pattern, its old pattern. I started doing EFT tapping. He left one day and I was sitting there doing my thing, and like an hour went by and I was like, oh my God, I didn't think about him leaving and get scared. Where did that come from? It just slowly goes away over time. Same thing. I picked this back up. So that was before I did all this work around my body. Then I started to do this work around my body. And then I just like didn't think about it when I looked in the mirror anymore. I didn't judge myself. One morning I just woke up and I was like, I don't judge myself anymore. Yes, this attributes to all of the work I do, but that's the power of EFT therapy. I promise it is like the best thing ever. You can do more research on your own, or you can get all the videos that I have inside of the Body Love Method. Moving on. I'm going to run through these and then we're going to do an example so you guys can experience it here. Rapid resolution therapy. We're going to do that live together in this next slide. Breath work. Hugely important. Your breath is the center of everything. And I used to hate that because I was like, that's so cliche. That's so boring. It's true. It matters. Breath work can help you regulate your nervous system. The thing with all of these guys are they are nervous system regulation tools. Okay. It helps you to bring your body back to homeostasis. It's really hard to change if we're in fight or flight, which is survival mode. So this is what it's doing. Thought awareness, journaling, behavior modification, and visualization. These are all methods because like I said, guys, we can't wake up and operate on the same patterns that we've operated on and expect our life to change. Doing little things incrementally, building those bricks, brick by brick, that is how we facilitate the change, okay? And this doesn't need to be overwhelming. This is why I recommend jumping inside the course, because it teaches you like step by step how to do it. But it only needs to take like 5 minutes a day. That's it. Just do one tapping video a day and watch what happens. Then imagine what it would be like if you actually combined that with the meditation. So I do want to touch on meditation real quick. What happens with meditation is your brain changes brainwave states. We have theta and alpha. Those are kind of the important ones here that we want to switch between. Your conscious mind lives in one, your subconscious lives in other. So remember I was saying about the soldiers outside of the castle, we kind of want them to look the other way. That's what happens with meditation. I provide guided meditations for every single module within the Body Love Method. So there's one for self-love, self-doubt, self-sabotage, limiting beliefs, writing your new story, all of the things. And I'm going to show you guys in a second what it looks like. But that's the important part. When you lay down and can switch your brainwave states, you can get the conscious mind out of the way and you start to listen to my voice and you do what I tell you to do. That's how we start to reprogram. Okay. That is like the most important part. Conscious and subconscious reprogramming. A conscious form is thought awareness. That's a reprogramming you can do right now. All that is catching the thoughts. As soon as they come up, you catch them and then you let them go. You reach for a better feeling thought. Once again, I teach, there's an entire module on this inside of the program. But for now, let's do an example of rapid resolution therapy. I have to pull this up here for myself. So what rapid resolution therapy is exactly this example of the guards outside the castle. What you're going to do is distract the guards. What I'm going to do is get into the castle. Okay. So what you're going to do is you're going to start counting as soon as I start speaking. It's only going to take like 60 seconds. Okay. Take a drink. You're going to start counting from 1 to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 4, 5, 6. You're going to go all the way up to 10. Go slow, like how I was counting, right? You're going to get up to 10. If I'm still talking, you go right back to 1. So what this is doing is it's giving your brain something to focus on. Okay. You're actively thinking about the numbers. You're actively counting up. What's going to happen is when you're doing that, I'm going to be reading a script. That script is going to go towards your subconscious mind because you're distracting the guards while I have freedom to get into the castle. Does that make sense? Try not to listen to what I'm saying. Your brain is going to want to pick it up. Your brain is going to want to like attach the words when I say like confidence, or it's going to hear weight loss, or it's going to hear a word and it's going to want to attach to it. Keep counting. Okay. This is something I do every morning when I'm putting my mascara on because it takes me 2 minutes to do my makeup. So it takes me 2 minutes to do this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Changes the game. It's so easy and it's such an easy tool. And you'll have this recording now that you can start to do this on your own. There's an actual like audio thing within the Body Love Method that's so much easier than, you know, going into a recording like this, fast forwarding to the whatever minute mark. But anyway, I digress. Let's do it. So you're just going to start counting. As soon as I start speaking, you're going to start counting. Does that make sense? Don't stop counting until I say stop. I'm going to start reading. So here we go. Start counting in 3, 2, 1. I've been feeling like I'm the kind of person that doesn't have what it takes to become confident and love her body. Losing weight feels impossible and loving my body feels hard. It's felt like I haven't grown or made the changes necessary to become this person. It's felt like I can't stay consistent enough or figure out how to do what it takes. There's been a belief weighing me down that it will never happen for me. It feels like sugar and food will always have control over me. In spite of that, I am free, clear, and choosing to connect to the unlimited power that lives within me. I'm choosing to remember that I am worthy regardless of what my body looks like. I'm choosing to remember how inherently worthy and powerful I am. I feel excited at the thought of showing up as my most confident self. I'm the kind of person who has complete food freedom and can eat whatever she wants without gaining weight. I'm the kind of person who stays consistent with her daily movement because it makes her feel good in her own skin. Loving my body and feeling free to be safe in my body is so exciting to me. I love looking in the mirror and reminding myself of who the freak I am. I love walking into a room and focusing on me and my energy. I always feel like I am good enough regardless of the number on the scale. Life is so fun now that I've let go of how my body looks and I instead focus on how good I feel. I love my confident, radiant, lucky, expansive self. Stop. And that's it. That is what rapid resolution therapy looks like, a form of it. There's many forms, but that's the example. And all you have to do, that takes minimal effort. You just have to read that every day to yourself or listen to that every day and count. That's a form of subconscious reprogramming right off the bat. Okay. So why these matter, doing them every day is going to help bust through those beliefs. So once again, think of that ice. These tools help us chip away at that iceberg, chip away at the beliefs, chip away at that mountain of evidence that is proving us wrong at every step. You can't do this. You're not good enough. Think about how long you've been this way. It helps you break through. It kind of helps release like the chokehold those beliefs have on us, because it can feel really hard. It can feel scary to want to do something and have this belief that you can't do it, right? these tools allow us to slowly chip away. So that's the brick by brick. So that is roadblock number 1 wrapped up. That is the most important one. I know I spent a lot of time there. These next ones won't take as long, I promise, but how are we feeling after that? That was a lot to digest, I know. I do want you to realize that it is broken down like bit by bit. There's a talk on self-love, self-judgment, subconscious mind, conscious mind, identity, programming, separation, self-sabotage. Like I'm going to show you all the modules, but if you guys are interested in learning more and the impact this can make if you actually do the work, that's what the Body Love Method is for. Okay, so that's roadblock number 1, mindset. Moving on, healing your relationship with food. Roadblock number 2 is nutrition. Not just nutrition, but our relationship with food. Okay, so bringing the subconscious reprogramming into this, it's really important to identify how we currently see food, how our current relationship is to it, and what we're making it mean. So if you notice yourself saying one or all of the below, phrases like calling foods good or bad, oh, that's a good food, or oh, bad. Cheat meals, the all or nothing approach, and then calorie counting, scale tracking, all of the things, that is a disordered relationship with food. Not an eating disorder, okay? But a toxic relationship with food. Obviously, there's varying levels. I'm not calling you out or making you wanting to feel shame here, but all of these things are rooted in restriction. They create an identity that you are right or wrong, depending on the food that you eat, right? If you keep creating this structure, this foundation around the all or nothing approach, around yo-yo dieting, around cheat meals, saying foods are good or bad, you are internalizing that and then making yourself good or bad. How many of you have said, I'm on the wagon, I'm being good right now? That is one of the, I was there for a long time, so you're not alone. But if we say that to ourselves, we're making ourselves a good or bad person based on the food we eat. So no wonder we're stuck in this cycle, because we're personalizing it. We're identifying with the foods we eat, right? Or, oh, I was bad last night. I ate Oreos in the bed, and then I ordered Taco Bell, and I couldn't stop, and I'm bad. You're not bad. The food you ate isn't bad either. It's just not nutrient dense, right? This is the most important thing. And obviously I'm not going to go too deep into this, because I have a whole nutrition course on this too. But the way we speak about food, the way we feel about food matters, like utmost importance. Okay. I know I've said that a lot already. There's a lot of things that are important, but if you continue to open your cupboards and label foods as good or bad foods, if you continue to look at them and make them mean something about you, they will continue to mean something about you. I got to food freedom by no longer looking at that donut and being like, oh, that's off limits. Oh, that's like a cheat meal. Oh, I shouldn't eat that. It's like a Tuesday. No, when you take it off the pedestal, it no longer has control over you, right? People with a neutral relationship with food, they just don't think it's good or bad. It's just they focus on how it's going to make them feel. And that's the most important part here with nutrition when it comes to healing your relationship with food. I don't care what the nutrients in it are. I care about how you feel after it, right? That's why now I can eat a donut, or I can eat a brownie, or I can eat a slice of pizza without feeling like garbage. Before I couldn't, because I was eating 8 slices of pizzas, right? Because I was so out of control, because I had such a restrictive mindset. I'm telling you right now, if you continue to restrict, it creates this very harmful relationship with food. Restriction. Balance is the key to all of this. That is how I healed my relationship with food, when I stopped having food rules. If you have food rules right now, that's indicative of an unhealthy relationship, right? We've got to stop giving our food meaning and creating these conditions around it. We can or can't eat it. The biggest thing I want to say here, because it does matter what we eat. We're going to talk about nutrition in a second. The foods we eat do matter, but I care about how they make you feel. I don't give a crap about the number on the scale. I care about how you're feeling. Okay. So real quick, just check yourself right now. This is one of my favorite things that happened with this journey for me, is healing my relationship with food, because I no longer obsess over it. I don't think about it 24/7 like I used to. I'm not thinking about the fact that there's a jar of peanut butter in the fridge. And in the past, I couldn't even eat peanut butter in the house because I would eat the whole jar in one sitting. And now I could care less that there's peanut butter in there. I don't think about it, right? That's what happens when we heal our relationship with food. That's when you're able to go to a cookout and not see the cake on the table and be like, oh my God, if I eat one piece, I'm going to eat the whole thing. Oh my God, what are people going to think of me if I eat the cakes? I'm always the person who's good. I'm the health conscious person. They're going to judge me. when you heal your relationship with food, we allow all that nonsense to go away. Okay. So what do we do about it? It starts by changing your language around food right now. And I know you guys can all relate to this, calling foods good or bad, good foods versus bad foods, cheat meals, all of the above, right? We've got to change our language. That is what I teach you how to do in my nutrition course. No longer counting calories, no longer weighing yourself, like weighing like your food. Counting calories used to be my entire life. I trained for a bodybuilding show and I had to count macros, I had to count calories, and that was my life. I was on MyFitnessPal or like those food apps for like hours a day. How exhausting, right? Unless you are training for something like that or like tracking for a reason, I just don't feel like that's a sustainable way to live. That doesn't really create like a lifestyle. That is just consuming a lot of your time. So anyway, we first identify how we're currently operating with food, and then we start to do what's called biological reconditioning, reprogramming. You've got to retrain your body with how it feels with food. When I was binging, I had a really not really big problem. I really struggled with binge eating. That's where my disordered eating stemmed from. I had no hunger cues because I was eating because of my mindset, because of my pain, because of things that I was like uncomfortable with to regulate my nervous system, et cetera, et cetera. I digress. You got to retrain your body how to feel. And that's what I teach in the nutrition course. Mindful eating, conscious pausing before you eat, prioritizing nutrient dense meals, which we're going to talk about in a second. I love talking about this stuff. But we relearn how to fuel our bodies, both mentally and physically. Okay. So let's talk about that right now. Nutrition 101. What you eat does matter. It does affect your body. It doesn't matter in the sense that it makes you a good or a bad person, but it matters in the fact that it's either going to make you feel good or it's going to make you feel not so good. I like to say this right off the bat. I do not promote restriction. I do not promote diets. I do not promote meal plans. I will take that to the grave with me. Restriction, all or nothing, dieting, cheat meals, good versus bad foods. That restriction, that like obsession is usually what leads to the yo-yo dieting because it's not sustainable. You ask somebody if they're on the same diet they were on when they were in 7th grade, they're going to say, no, I've tried 50 more diets since then. Restriction and trying cleanses and trying like just all of that stuff, it's not sustainable because as soon as you get a little taste of it after restricting for so long, like I said in the beginning, you just go to the opposite end of the spectrum and you probably eat everything in sight. And then you feel bad about yourself and then you judge yourself and then you go strict again and then you eat a little something and you go right back into the cycle, the shame sabotage cycle. Okay. We hold ourselves a lot of the times to an unrealistic extreme that's unmaintainable. And then we make ourselves wrong when we can't stick to it. We're like, why can't you just do it? Because it's not realistic. Stop judging yourself for being human and needing to eat food, right? Stop judging yourself for not being able to stick to an extreme. That's why that it's an extreme, because it's not maintainable. It's not balanced. So what does lead to consistency? How did I get the results that I showed you in that picture in the beginning? Balance. Obviously, healing my relationship with food took time. I did that through the EFT tapping, through the journaling, like writing my new narrative, all of those things that I teach. But balance is where I got there. But I also want to say, this isn't just, balance doesn't mean a free-for-all where you just eat crap food 24/7, right? I'm not saying that you just like go off the deep end and you're like, oh, Casey said nutrition doesn't matter, so I'm just going to eat cake and pizza and processed sugars and Doritos and goldfish and blank, blank, blank for every single meal. That's not going to do it either. That leads me into my next conversation, is talking about inflammation. Okay. These are some nutrition red flags right now, and I'm not shaming you. I'm not judging you. I have done every single one of these, but right now so when I was talking about biological reprogramming, like reconditioning for your body, this has a lot to do with the actual like functions that's going on physically. So our hormone health and how our body is processing this food. Inflammation, if you joined this because you heard me talking about inflammation and energy, this is where this stems from. Your blood sugar, your hormones, especially as a female, they're very dependent on the food we eat and when we eat it and how we eat it. If you are currently, and raise your hand, call yourself out here, skipping breakfast, fasting, having your coffee first thing before breakfast, not eating enough protein, like neglecting protein altogether. I'm not talking animal protein. If you're a vegetarian, that's okay. Or cutting out entire macro groups, like cutting out carbs, cutting out fats or proteins. These are creating a blood sugar disaster within your body. Your hormones don't know which way is up and down when we do these things, right? We can take just like really small steps to just tweak your nutrition And I'm not even talking about cutting out food or adding in food. I'm just like talking about eating in a certain way that's going to support you. But in order we rebalance our bodies, we do need to focus on proper nutrition. And I'm not saying all the time, but 80% of the time. Things that you can do right now, and this is included in the 4-week process I have within the Body Love method, or in the nutrition course of the Body Love. Just start eating a nutrient-dense, high-protein breakfast before or with your coffee, no more fasting, and just focusing on protein throughout the day, focusing on no more naked carbs. A naked carb is just a carb that doesn't have any protein or fat on it. It creates a blood sugar spike. Once we get our blood sugar in order, cravings tend to go away and energy tends to increase. So that fatigue, that sluggishness, the cravings, the afternoon crash, that starts to go away if you just do a couple simple things like eating a high protein breakfast and postponing your coffee until a little later in the day, right? Just that alone can benefit you. And I'm giving away the things that I teach in the nutrition course, but it's important. Okay. And that's why you guys are here. You're getting some free info in this training, obviously. So now let's talk about the standard American diet. There is no shame in the foods that are on the screen. These are not good foods and they are not bad foods. You are not a good person because you've eaten these things, and you are not a bad person because you've eaten these things. Please let that sink in. I am not judging you if you've eaten any of these foods. I have eaten every single thing that is on this screen, and I have eaten it consistently in my life, and I probably will still eat it. Okay? But, however, if you consume these foods 24/7, if this is the only thing in your diet, your hormones, your body is going to be going a little haywire because these foods don't really have any nutritional value to them. The thing that they do have in them is a lot of processed ingredients, chemicals, refined sugars, and seed oils. Once again, I eat these foods from time to time. And I'm not saying time to time, like once in a blue moon. I consistently eat an ice cream sandwich or a cookie or have pizza. Like I go out for a beer with my husband. Like that's normal. Okay. But it's not for every single meal. And why? Because I know that if I eat these things for every single meal, I feel like garbage. We don't really realize the impact that these ingredients have on us. And I do want to highlight the two, the granola bars here, the Nature Valley and the Belvita, because I used to eat those like every morning. First of all, those don't really have any protein or fat, so it's just a carb, which is going to create an intense glucose spike first thing that causes hormonal chaos, that causes the crash later in the day, the fatigue, etc. I used to think these things were healthy, and not that they're not healthy, they're not good or bad, but they're not nutrient dense. And when I say nutrient dense, guys, I just mean foods that are going to support your body to optimize your health, to optimize how you're feeling. Okay, because that's what this is about. So I want you to start to tune in with how foods are making you feel. Diet Coke first thing in the morning is going to create an insane blood sugar response. I'm not telling you can't drink the Diet Coke, but what I am saying is maybe try to eat some eggs and some, like avocado and turkey bacon, and then drink the Diet Coke so that the response isn't so strong. Okay. Anyway, to go back to this, these foods can be great in moderation, but if you consume them all day, every day, your body is just in a constant state of inflammation. If we keep putting this stuff in, the inflammation just keeps going. The bagel also, I just wanted to point out, I love bagels, eat them often, but I pair them with something, because if you just eat the bagel by itself, it's going to create that response as well. That's the case for most of these foods. Let's talk about seed oils real quick, because I didn't really know what a seed oil was up until last year, and I have a master's degree in nutrition. Okay. And my nutrition books, my professor didn't teach me about this at all. I thought this stuff was fine. I thought vegetable oil was like great. I thought it was a great alternative up until recently. Seed oils are like the number one inflammatory thing that we can put in our bodies. Okay. So on the left-hand side, canola oil, vegetable oil, sunflower oil, soybean oil, grapeseed and rapeseed oil. Highly inflammatory oils. Pam cooking spray. Highly inflammatory. Okay. And once again, I'm not telling you guys you can't use these, but there are such easy swaps that literally don't taste any differently that you can make that will help reduce your inflammation immediately. Okay. Go into your cupboards and pull out the food and look at how many of these oils are in them. They're in things that like they don't need to be in, like almond milk or Doritos, or like just all of our snacks, even in pastas. I've found them in your peanut butter, that Jif peanut butter. Like I love peanut butter. And it's in those kinds of peanut butter, hydrogenated oils. Not that they're bad or good, but what I am telling you is they create an intense inflammatory response in the body. So the easiest way to start reducing inflammation is to just swap out for avocado oil, olive oil, or coconut oil. Okay. If you don't like the taste of coconut oil, use avocado oil or extra virgin. You can't taste a difference. The Pam cooking spray, buy avocado spray. Once again, I'm not telling you that you can or can't do something. I'm just telling you that a really easy way to decrease inflammation. First of all, why is it important to decrease inflammation? Because inflammation causes us to be fatigued and sluggish and causes the bloating and also keeps the weight on. If our body's in a constant state of inflammation, it's in chronic stress, that's really hard to ever lose weight because your body is like already stressed out. It's like going on haywire, right? If we can just reduce the inflammation, your body's just going to start to feel better. It's going to start to run better. And I'm not saying you can't have this stuff ever. I eat cookies. I have ice cream sandwiches in my freezer. I've been eating one every single night. I work at a restaurant part-time, so I am around foods like this all the time. I eat the pastas. I eat the pizza often, okay? But not for every single meal. Because if I did it for every single meal, I would feel like absolute garbage because you're putting motor oil in your body and your body's not a car, right? You're like drinking that. So that's just a little piece of advice. If you're struggling with your health right now, try to cut out some seed oils. Not cut out, try to reduce. I want to be careful with my language, okay? All right, we got to keep flying through this because I don't want to take too much of your time. What do we do about nutrition? These are the easiest things you can write down, like do right now. Take a picture of the screen, write it down and start doing these things. I guarantee you'll start to notice a difference. Eat within 30 to 60 minutes of waking up. I used to think it was such a flex to like starve myself until like 1 p.m. to just drink my coffee and be like, oh yeah, I'm like so skinny because I'm not eating. Starving yourself is not a flex, okay? Eating within 30 to 60 minutes of waking up has been a game changer in not only like my weight loss, because eating more has actually made me lose weight. I don't weigh myself, so I can't tell for sure like the number on the scale, but the way my body looks and feels, eating first thing in the morning has skyrocketed that. It like jump starts it, okay? Especially if you're a female. Drinking your coffee after you eat breakfast. If you drink your coffee first, it creates a cortisol spike because of the caffeine. That creates the blood sugar response, all of the things. It's a cascade from there, okay? Prioritizing protein at every meal. I used to think this was silly information because I was a vegetarian and vegan for quite some time. And then I started prioritizing. I was still vegetarian, but I started to prioritize protein. And then I started adding in animal protein. And I was like, whoa, I feel really good. So not that you have to eat animal protein, you don't have to, but try to find protein that you can prioritize. I give examples of this. I give meal ideas, all of those things within the nutrition course that I have. Eating enough of the right calories was what matters here. I always like to say, add in the good before removing the bad, quote unquote bad, quote unquote good, right? Add in the good, the supportive nutrients. See, I'm catching myself with this language. It's so ingrained. Add in more nutrient dense versus restricting. I'm not telling you to cut out everything in your life. I'm just telling you to add in more of the nutrient dense things. Add in more fiber, add in more vegetables, add in more protein, eat more fruits, eat more whole nutrient dense foods 80% of the time. Just that alone versus eating the processed food for every single meal is going to drastically change how you feel. Inflammation will start to go down. You have to give this time though, guys. I cannot tell you the number of times I would go on a diet and I would go on the scale the next day and be like, I didn't lose any weight. And then I would go on the scale 2 days later and be like, I gained a pound. And then 3 days later, this takes a couple weeks, a couple months, right? You can't, stop weighing yourself. Stop getting on the scale the next day and be like, I didn't lose a pound, so it must not be working. You got to give it time. You got to be patient. Excuse me. Okay. So prioritizing our blood sugar, eating protein, eating real food. That's really what I just want you to do. 80% of the time, focus on real food. When I say real food, I have a module on this within the nutrition course. It's really just about prioritizing food that's natural versus the processed stuff. Not that you can't ever have the processed stuff, but eating more of the nutrient dense foods 80% of the time. Okay. Balance, balance, balance. You can still have the foods you love. Healing my relationship with food is what allowed me to have food freedom. I love going out to eat. I love getting takeout. And I feel fine with doing it because 80% of my week is filled with nutrient dense food that's making me feel good because I move my body every day, etc. Okay. Nutrition example, once again, I do not promote diet plans at all. I am sharing this as an example because when I did this, once again, guys, I have a master's in nutrition. I went to school for this crap. I shouldn't call it crap. I went to school for this for 6 years. I got certified in this stuff. And I didn't really learn this, right? Like I learned that having a granola bar for breakfast was like a nutrient dense thing, or skipping breakfast, or intermittent fasting, or drinking your coffee first thing. Not necessarily through my experience. Okay. So your quality of food is what matters of all. Please take that to heart. It's the quality of food. This is just an example to kind of like give you an idea. I give more examples and I go way more into this within the nutrition course, but breakfast, eat your breakfast, ladies. If you're not hungry in the morning, that is due to your hormones being all out of whack right now. Okay. I was this way for a long time. I was like, I refused to eat breakfast. Also because I thought I was being skinny by doing it, which is another mindset that we want to break out of. Okay. Breakfast, 3 egg omelet, add in some veggies in there, whatever you like, add some avocado on top. Cheese doesn't need to be the devil. Unless you're lactose intolerant, most people are okay with cheese. Turkey sausage and some fruit. Amazing breakfast. Okay. Then for a snack, having some Greek yogurt and homemade granola, or some cottage cheese, or a cheese stick, or some nuts. Having lunch, a taco bowl with ground turkey, peppers, onions, quinoa, or rice. Like eating food. Another snack in the afternoon, 2 hard-boiled eggs, or fruit with nut butter, or fruit with nuts, or another cheese stick, or whatever it is. Dinner, grilled chicken with vegetables and jasmine rice, or a chicken soup, or a stir fry, or just like something. And then dessert, an ice cream sandwich, a cookie, a peanut butter yogurt bowl. Like make your own fun desserts, right? Just eating food throughout the day. Most of us, myself included, I used to just be someone who would pack like little snacks here and there, those Nature Valley Crunch bars or the Belvita bars, or like just packing a sandwich to get me through. That's not enough food. You gotta eat. Like, I know it's so scary if you've had a tumultuous relationship with food, but eating is the best thing that you can do for yourself. Eating real whole foods. If you are vegetarian, if you can't eat eggs, if you have certain restrictions, if you have dietary preferences, gluten-free or dairy-free or whatnot, that's what the nutrition course is for. It kind of caters to all of that to teach you, okay? All right, we're almost there, guys. Let's get through this. All right, stick with me because I promise the ending is important, okay? I'm going to give you an option to do something about this. Movement. Moving our bodies daily is key. And I'm not talking that you need to do a CrossFit workout every single day. I'm not telling you need to go to Orange Theory every day. In fact, I don't want you to go to Orange Theory Fitness every day. But moving your body daily is one of the best things that you can do for your health, for your longevity. Walking especially. Walking is one of the best ways to get your movement in. Walking, I forget the statistic, I learned this way back in school, about the effects that it can have for when you get older, and the longevity of your life that can be improved by just walking for 10 minutes a day. So important, okay? Movement matters. And movement can be a big roadblock to our goals because a lot of us struggle with it. We don't know what to do. We feel overwhelmed by movement. We don't understand what's good and what's not good, what's right for us, etc. Something that I had to learn the hard way is that constant HIIT training, and HIIT means high intensity interval training. So Orange Theory Fitness, like constant plyometrics, things like that, usually sends us women into hormonal fatigue when you're doing that high intensity activity all the time, right? If you were a college athlete, or not even collegiate, if you were an athlete growing up, right? That's why a lot of girls don't get their periods until late if they're intense athletes, because their bodies, their hormones aren't giving the chance to like function properly because their bodies are in a state of chronic stress, What I have found works for me is a good balance of strength and cardiovascular. So that's strength training with weights and then walking or adding in some HIIT training, but not 55 minutes of HIIT every single day. With everything though, it comes down to doing what is best for you. You have to find what you like. If you like Orange Theory, if you are feeling energized, if you're not feeling fatigued, if your body feels great, if you have a normal hormonal health cycle, great, do it if you like it. But I have found that time-wise, that doesn't fit for me, and I don't actually like to do it. So that's what we're going to talk about. Why don't we all move our bodies every day, right? Moving your body, I just said, is like one of the biggest predictors of our long-term health. So why don't we do it every day? Number one is time constraints, a busy schedule, right? Having to take time to drive to the gym, do an hour-long fitness class, drive home, or going to the gym and not knowing what to do. That's another big roadblock, because you get there and you're like, I don't know what the freak to do. Kids to care for. It's really hard to leave the house sometimes if you've got kids at home. Accountability. It's not easy to go move your body sometimes because it's hard to work out, right? I don't want to be under the assumption that it's like, oh my God, it's so much fun. Yeah, fitness classes can be fun and I like to make them fun for my clients, but it's like, at the end of the day, sometimes you just don't want to do it. So accountability, you don't feel like it. Expensive gym membership. We're going to talk about that in a second. Your gym is far away and expensive equipment, because if you're like, I'll just work out at home to save me some money. Well, then you're like, I got to buy a squat machine and I got to buy a bench. And you're like, that's too expensive. The biggest thing here is about not knowing what to do in the gym, but like thinking that it's too expensive to pay for someone. Personal training is usually around like $65 to $100 for an hour session. That's a lot of money to have to add in, right? This is why I created the Body Love Workout Program. Okay, so the other thing, I went to school for 6 years for personal training, exercise physiology, athletic training. I was a strength and conditioning coach at the collegiate level, and also personal trainer certified for, I don't know how long, back when I was my last year in college, I got certified. All this to say, movement is my mojo. Learning how to make movement fun is my mojo. The Body Love workouts combat every single one of these time constraints, or every one of these roadblocks. The time, these workouts are only 25 minutes long. 25 minutes, that's a lunch break, right? That's it. It also is pre-recorded. So it's like having a personal trainer in your pocket. You open your laptop and you push play. I'm going to show you an example in a second. And I tell you exactly what to do. And I do the workout with you. So I sit there and I'm doing bicep curls and I'm counting the timer and telling you to do the bicep curls. And then I switch and then I tell you what to do. Minimal equipment. So all you need is a set of dumbbells. If you have an exercise band or want to get one, great, but you don't need it. And it's a great combination of strength training. There's always weights involved. We are always doing some sort of strength training. We are using our muscles. And then we add in some cardio sometimes, not all the time. And accountability. So that's the other thing with this, guys, is there's a community of women who do this. So you can make a buddy, or you can find accountability, or you can reach out to me. You get me within the Body Love Workout Program as well. Okay. So this is like a personal trainer in your pocket. And then I would just want to talk about cost real quick. So this method is 3 months long. There are 60 plus workouts here. There's a workout every single Monday through Friday for 12 weeks. That's 60 workouts, guys. Let me do the math here. If you had a personal trainer that cost $65 and you were getting 60 workouts, that would cost almost $4,000. That's $3,900. This program is only $497 for 3 months long with the discount you guys get for being on this webinar. $497 for 60 workouts that are done for you. You're not going to a gym and wondering, what the heck do I do right now? You are opening it up. You have happy, bubbly Casey about to make it a fun 25 minutes for you, a sweaty, push yourself 25 minutes, and then it's done. 3 months, guys. Imagine how many workouts that is. Imagine how different you could feel about your body if you were moving it, but for only 25 minutes a day. Okay. So I'm going to talk more about that course, and I'm going to show you an example workout video. Also, if you want a sample to see if it's a good fit, reach out to me. I'll send you a free workout. But the biggest recap, the recap to the biggest roadblocks: mindset and identity, which you guys geeked out on that one for like almost an hour, nutrition and movement. So what do we do about it? How can I help? I just would like to say that the next 3 months are going to look exactly like the last 3 months if you don't do anything to change your beliefs and therefore change your behaviors. And that is not to be mean. That's not to make you feel bad. That's not to judge or shame anybody. That's just the plain truth of it. If you don't do anything different, how do you expect the different results? That's just going back to like the math I was saying in the beginning. If you continue to wake up and talk shit to yourself every morning, you're not going to magically wake up with a 6-pack abs and love the skin that you're in. It doesn't work that way. So let's close our eyes and go back to that feeling we felt in the beginning of the freedom. No longer obsessing over the food we're eating, no longer taking all this mental energy, feeling like crap in the skin that we're in, or fearing that other people are going to judge us, or wishing we didn't have these problems. How much mental energy this was a big one for me. I was like, I wish I could just be normal. When I have a normal relationship with food, then I'll finally be able to relax. All conditions. You are here for a reason. You watched this masterclass for a reason, and you stayed this long for a reason, right? You signed up and you chose to be here. You get to change the next 3 months. You get to make them different, but it comes down to the brick by brick. There is no quick fix. This is not a hydroxycut supplement. This is not Ozempic, okay? Ozempic will give you results until you go off of it, and then you are going to go back to exactly how you were, okay? Why not create the sustainability that you need and then not need to have the drug, right? What if that drug magically goes poof one day? Then you're going to be like, what the hell? right? What if you could take your power? Also, how disempowering to use something else. I'm sorry. I'm not calling you out if you're using it, for health reasons, especially, but when it comes to weight loss, it's so empowering to me to know that I did it myself. I learned how to change my mindset. I took my power back and stopped giving it away to other people, to food, to my weight. How empowering could that feel for you if you were able to make the changes for you? That is where the Body Love Method comes in. This Body Love Mindset course is what I was talking about in the beginning. That entire time we were talking about mindset and identity. This is a 3-month-long self-guided course supporting you and actually making the 3 months different than the last 3 months. It is going deep into the beliefs of your subconscious mind, teaching you how to reprogram them. It has an entire resource library of the EFT tapping, of the journaling, of the breath work, of the Kundalini, of all of the freaking things that we went over. But it actually breaks it down step by step. You watch a video, then you journal. I give you journal prompts, and then you do a guided meditation. And then for that whole week, you are reprogramming your subconscious on that topic. And then the next week, you get a new video. And then the next, a new video. And you go through this for 3 months minimum. And I know 3 months sounds like a long time, but it's also not. Think about the fact of how fast this year has already gone by. Think about how different if you just dedicated 3 months. That's 90 days, guys. Even if you just dedicated a month, how different could your life look, right? That's what happens in that course. What's included? So this is just kind of like showing you an example of the modules. So the weekly video training modules, then you get journal prompts, then you get exercises and action steps to practice, guided meditations. There's a whole resource library with bonus content, the yoga, the Kundalini yoga, the EFT tapping, the rapid resolution therapy, breath work, meditations, all of the freaking things. Guys, I'm going to show you the modules right now. Let's see if I can do this. I don't know if I can. Look at this right here. You guys can still see my screen. Look at how many videos there are. Video, module 8. And then we go down into phase 2, loving yourself in the now. More modules, writing your new story. Here we go. Resource library, all down here, right? And when you click on a video, let's start with like conditioning in your subconscious mind. This is in like the preview mode, just so you know. So you get this video with me speaking to you just like this. And then you get your journal prompts, you get the meditation, you get the module slides, and then you get the exercises to practice. That's a whole lot of information in there, right? So that is what, let me get back to my presentation here. That is what is within the Body Love Method course. The other important part here that I want to share is the private Facebook group. So you're also getting access to me. I do Q&As in there, so you can be doing the course on your own time. And then if you have questions, you can post in the Facebook group, or you can make one of the live Q&A calls. It's a Zoom call where you get to ask your own questions, right? I show up, I have a topic to talk about, but you can also show up and say, hey, I'm not really understanding this journal prompt, or hey, that meditation felt different to me, or hey, what do I do about this? You get live coaching support. You also get accountability. There's other people going through the same exact thing you're going through in that private Facebook group, right? That's what I built it for, because I want that community there. Okay. This is my baby. This is the jam. This is my all-time favorite course. That's the Body Love Method mindset portion. It is the foundation of it. Okay. Moving on, just because I want to be considerate of our time here. I also have a nutrition course. So that was kind of the second roadblock we talked about, healing your relationship with food. This is a step-by-step process teaching you the basics. So like the foundation of nutrition 101. We go over proteins, carbs, fats. We talk about no longer labeling foods good and bad. I teach you how to read a food label. I teach you about ditching the scale, saying goodbye to the diet plans. I give you examples of food, examples of how to meal prep, how to prepare yourself, conscious eating. Like I can't even, there's so much in there. If you want to see a snapshot of the modules, you can message me. I want to get this out of the way. Give me 1 second. Hide floating meeting controls. Okay. That's the nutrition program. So much in there, and it's going to teach you how. So we have like a 4-week process of the things that we do to help the biological reprogramming. That's in there as well. If you are sick of diet plans, guys, this is the mumbo jumbo of it. All right. And then finally, the other thing that I have to support you is the workout program. This was so much fun to create. This is the one I was talking where there are 60 plus on-demand workout videos. You open your computer or you get on your phone, you push play and you do the workout. There is also a demo section. So if you're new to working out and you're like, I don't even know what a bicep curl is, I don't know what a squat thrust is, Before every workout, there's a demo. You hit play. I walk you through all the exercises that we're doing in that video. And then you have an idea. You can practice them. You can figure out what weights you need to use before you even push play. And you get 60 plus demos as well. For every single workout, there's a demo video. There's modifications available in those demos. So say you have a problem with shoulder presses because you tweaked your shoulder, I give you a modification. Once again, guys, it's a personal trainer in your pocket. And like I said, if you were doing 5 personal training sessions a week, that would cost you $4,000. $4,000. This course is only $497 for 3 months for 60 workouts. All you need is a set of dumbbells. Also within the private Facebook group, I do pop-up workouts from time to time. So you're also getting bonus workouts. You can do them live with me. It's so much fun to come and hang out. And that's where the accountability is with other people as well. Other women come together to do these workouts. You can hop on a Zoom group and do a workout with somebody else in the group. All you have to do is push play. This was so much fun to make. Okay. So that's the Body Love Method workout program. So let's get to the meat and potatoes here. What's the gist? What is the pricing of these courses? So I really want to be supportive of you guys. And because we're on this, can you guys hear my chair squeaky? Because you guys joined this, I know that you care. You joined this webinar, this free training for a reason, because you do want to be the person that can take control of your mindset, of your life, of your body, and of your health. Those 3 roadblocks, these are the solutions to those 3. I gave you some great free tips and tricks here, but the nitty-gritty lies within these 3 programs. There is a 50% off sale for those of you guys on this training. The code LOVE50 will give you access to 50% off my courses. The mindset course is normally $15.94. It's only $7.97 for all 3 months, for the entire resource library, for all of those modules I showed you, for the journal prompts, the EFT tapping, the guided meditations, the subconscious reprogramming. And guys, I wish that I could go back and have something like this in the beginning, because it took me a lot of trial and error to get here. Imagine if there was a step-by-step process that could give you that freedom that you felt in the beginning, right? Think about what the price of that is for you to have complete food freedom, to finally feel confident in the skin that you're in, to no longer compare yourself to other people. What if that reality was possible for you? What would the price on that be? If you could drastically change your beliefs and your mindset in the next couple months, what would that be worth to you? To me, I was so desperate for that freedom in the beginning. That is like an invaluable thing to me, to be able to do that, right? That's what that program is about. That mindset is my absolute baby. If you're going to do anything from this one, I recommend the mindset. If you're like, my mindset's great, fine, move on. But I promise you guys, being able to heal your relationship with your body and with food, so you're not in a constant battle with it, because just think of the mental energy you spend on it all day, every day. Imagine being free, right? Imagine going to a barbecue and being able to eat the hot dog and eat the pizza or the cake or the cookies and not regret it and not feel like shit about yourself. Imagine going into a dressing room and being able to try on clothes and not feel like crap about yourself, and actually being able to look at yourself in the mirror and feel pretty and confident and beautiful in the skin that you're in, right? Imagine not needing to wake up and starve yourself and do extra cardio because you think you're fat. It's obviously so layered, but that is what the mindset course supports you with, okay? Moving on to the nutrition program, that is normally $594. That's only $297 with this 50% off deal, which for all of the stuff that you're getting in there to learn about it, the 4-week plan to recondition, it's just the 4 steps. I mean, in that plan, only $297. I mean, that's nothing compared to my degree that I had to pay for. I digress. $297 for that, right? And then the Body Love at Home workout program, which I was talking about earlier, that was the one where it would be $4,000 if you were paying for a trainer. And now these are only 25-minute workouts. You have a personal trainer in your pocket, which, by the way, guys, I make these workouts fun as heck. You're always going to get a pep talk within those. That's the fun part of it. That's only $497. Okay. And then the final offer to make for you guys is 3 courses for the price of 1. Only $997 for all 3 of these. All 3 of these courses. The mindset itself was $797. So for only a little bit more, you could get 3 months of working out. So 60 plus workouts. You can get the nutrition to support you along with it for only $997. That's a $3,500 normally deal. You also get a bonus Boundary Boss Masterclass. You have a VIP option to upgrade to me for one-on-one sessions, but you get all of this. 60 plus at-home workouts, new mindset videos each week, weekly journal prompts, guided meditations, Facebook Q&As. I go live in that Facebook once a week to give you your Q&As. If you hop on that call, you get me, that coaching support. That's what you get inside of the Facebook group, okay? Once again, I do offer the one-on-one coaching. If you want to upgrade, that's only available to people who are inside of the Body Love Method. Okay. This is what's possible for you. I want to go back to my pictures here. I want to remind you that I'm not special. I'm not. I was somebody who struggled for 10 plus years. You can see it in the pictures, right? I'm not different. I didn't do anything special. I didn't get lucky. I did the work. And it's not even like, yes, I'm so happy with how I look and it's great and it's fun and it's, you know, it's great to feel confident in the skin that I'm in, but it's the mindset about it that matters. That I no longer stress over food. I no longer obsess. I no longer struggle with my disordered relationship. Once I addressed the things in my subconscious mind, everything changed. I was able to break out of that loop. And that is what's possible for you. I love this trio because it's the 3 courses together for only $9.97. So if you're going to do the mindset for $7.97, why not add in the other 2 for only a couple $100 more, right? You're getting the workout program and the nutrition. That's a solid deal for all 3 of those for only $9.97. And I really do just like to go back. You're here for a reason. So what's it worth to you to be able to change the way that you feel about your body and change the way that you feel about food, to heal your relationship with food, to heal your relationship with the skin that you're in? Once again, guys, this isn't a weight loss secret. This is actually changing your mindset and changing your identity. Okay. If you want that, if you want the freedom, this is for you. The Body Love Method is for you. I really didn't believe I could do it either until I started to piece the pieces of the puzzle together and do it for myself. Okay. This is not another quick fix. This is not Weight Watchers. This is not a detox. This is not something that's secretive. It's an actual step-by-step process to make it happen. If I can do it, from being unhappy, from having a toxic relationship with food, to being over here with complete freedom, living my dream life, feeling like my confident best self. And here's the thing, guys, this changes with you. I am pregnant right now and my body is changing a lot. And because I've done this work, I love that my body's changing. In the past, if my stomach would have gotten bigger, if I had seen the scale go up, I would have a panic attack about that. But the beauty of this work is that it sticks with you through all seasons. So now I'm able to love and accept my pregnant body and my growing belly without freaking out, thinking that I'm unworthy, thinking that I'm fat, thinking that people are going to judge me, etc. This work stays with you. And I just really want to reiterate, what could be different in your life 3 months from now if you did something about it? The next 3 months, and I think I wrote this down, the next 3 months will look like the last 3 months if you don't do anything about it. And once again, there's no shame. Option 1 is you stay the same, right? You continue to judge and shame your body for how you look. You repeat the same patterns. You judge yourself for the foods you eat. You struggle with how your weight is. You struggle with the person that's looking back at you in the mirror. I'm not shaming you for that, but you are shaming you for that, right? I don't want you to stay in this toxic cycle of judgment and guilt and shame. That self-sabotage is only going to lead to more self-sabotage. That judgment and shame is only going to lead you further down that rabbit hole. Option 2 is to break the patterns and do something about it. And I know that your brain automatically wants to say, it's too good to be true. I can't do it. Go back to that identity slide. I'm telling you, if you keep saying those things to yourself, that's what you're going to keep experiencing. Okay. So that's the opportunity you have here right now. You joined this for a reason. I know you care. If you are this far along, it's because you care. Okay. So this bundle is a great opportunity for you to take your power back, to empower yourself, to change how you feel about your body and how you feel about food, right? If you do the work, you will get the results, but only if you start to take that power back and choose to do it. Okay. Create the lasting, sustainable results. That's the thing I want to highlight here. It's the sustainability. This is why the course is minimum 3 months long, because we're building brick by brick. This is not something we do in a week. This is not something we do on the spot. It takes time, but I'm telling you, I don't have to do these things daily anymore to stay up with it. It's just part of me now. Those beliefs are reprogrammed. The mindset is shifted. And that's what's possible for you as well. Okay, so these are just, you guys can like pause the screen or pause the thing to read some of these. These are people who were within the method, the mindset portion for sure. Just about going shopping and finally feeling confident when she was trying clothes on in the mirror. Couldn't tell she lost weight because she didn't, or could tell she lost weight because she hadn't weighed herself. But she wasn't even concerned about the sizes. Having so much fun in the dressing room. Imagine that feeling. I used to hate shopping for clothes. Imagine feeling confident in a dressing room. This may seem small, but when I look in the mirror, the first things I say to myself are actually kindness versus judgment and hate for what's looking back at me. For so long, I dreaded looking in the mirror, getting ready, but now I've come to really enjoy that because of this perspective of self-love. Think about what that would feel like to get ready in the morning and not dread the mirror, to not get out of the shower or even be in the shower and just be like, oh, I hate where I'm at, right? It's a confidence mindset. It's a self-love mindset. And then the last one, Sarah was saying, my husband and I went out for dinner this weekend, and it was the first time I wasn't stressed about counting calories or how long I was going to have to work out in order to burn it off. I enjoyed pizza and beer, and the best part is I didn't feel guilty about it, and I woke up in the morning feeling good. Thank you so much. I never thought I would find freedom from food, and this is teaching me more and helping me with my overall mindset. Imagine that, being able to go out to eat without stressing, without also it being a cheat meal. Like you just get to go out and enjoy it for the heck of it. You get to enjoy it to enjoy it. So that's what's possible for you. I'm just going to go back so you guys can see these. If you guys want to take a picture of this slide, all of the links to join these programs are below, or you can just go to CaseyRoseCoaching.com and you'll see all of these. The bundle is a special deal. This is a limited time deal. It's only offered because you guys are on this free training. Once again, $9.97, 3 courses for the price of 1. This mindset portion alone is normally, what is the normal price for that? $15.94, and you're getting all 3 of these for only $9.97. If you're going to do anything, do the mindset portion, but why not do all 3 if you're going to do something? You can always upgrade once you're in one of them, but you won't have the special discount discount price. I do just want to say that ahead of time. So the bundle offer is only if you do them all together. If you join one and decide to upgrade later, the discount won't be available to you. It will go back to the original price that is on the screen dashed out in red. If you guys have questions, please reach out. You guys can shoot us an email at thebodylovemethod@gmail.com. You can DM me on Instagram, Casey Rose Coaching. I check that every single day. I'm usually pretty active on there. If you're not ready to do something, head over to my Instagram at Casey Rose Coaching. I try to post free stuff almost daily. I'm always posting an affirmation on my stories almost daily. I'm trying to share helpful content, supportive, free content for you guys. But if I can tell you anything, it is that this mindset work changed my life. And I cannot imagine still living in the mind that was over here. I cannot picture what my life would be like if I still hated myself, if I still judged myself, if I was still worried about what other people were going to think of me, if I was worried about food 24/7. It's a dungeon in that mindset, and it's possible to break out. It's possible to get a body you love. It's possible to feel confident in the skin that you're in. You just have to do something about it. Okay. So any questions, please, once again, feel free to reach out. I am more than happy to support you. That's the other thing about the Facebook group. Like I said, you get to ask your personalized questions. So once you're in this course, if you're like, oh my God, I have all these questions, that's where you get to have them answered. So I appreciate you guys for taking the time. I know that I talk a lot, so thank you for bearing with me. I really enjoyed that. Thank you for your time, and I would love to support you in any way possible. So click below to get in on that bundle while the offer lasts, and I'll see you guys inside the course.